Hey everybody, Kevin Cochran here from Enriched Academy. Want to thank you again for taking the time to watch another one of our videos. As I said earlier, we're getting amazing feedback from these videos that we're putting out on social media. So just keep watching because we're uploading new videos all the time. As I've mentioned in past videos, I've had the opportunity to speak in front of over 100,000 Canadians over the last 15 years, helping them build long-term sustainable wealth, which is pretty awesome. And every year we do events right across the country where we have thousands of Canadians show up, which is pretty cool. You know, what I want to talk about today is this. I want to talk about understanding credit and credit cards, because anybody who's watching this video right now that's struggling financially, I always find one of the main reasons they're struggling financially is they're in credit card debt. I just read an interesting stat for those Canadians, for the average Canadian that is holding on to credit card debt right now, they're holding on to an average of about $9,500 worth of credit card debt. So I want to tell you that if you're, you know, it's interesting. I read another stat that credit card companies annually make $22 billion a year. So the challenge is when you're paying an average of 19% interest on debt, it's very, very difficult to get out of debt. So anybody who's watching right now, because a lot of people come to our events and they say, you know what, should I start saving money or should I start paying off my credit card debt? It's interesting. Like I always say, if you're paying anything over 6% in credit card debt, you know, or credit card interest, you need to be attacking that debt immediately before saving any money, because there's no point, you know, saving money, earning 5, 6, 7% and paying 20% interest on credit card debt. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And you know, this is a recent credit card statement of mine. My credit card bill was $11,000 this month. And I want to show you why it's so important to make sure you pay off your credit card on time every single month, because the last page of your credit card statement, it actually tells you how long it's going to take to pay off your credit card. Most people don't want to look at that last page. And this is a credit card statement of mine from actually this month, and at 19% interest, which I pay off my credit cards in full every single month. But it says right here that it would take 105 years and 1 month to fully repay the outstanding balance. And so you take a look at that. I'm 41 years old right now. There's no possible way, you know, I would pay that off within my lifetime, which is pretty amazing. Well, it's pretty crazy. So again, if you're holding on to credit card debt, make sure you pay off this debt as aggressively as you can. It's really, really important to do that. Something else I want to make sure that people understand when it comes to their credit cards, because this is just, it's one of those things where I see a lot of people go on vacation, and what they do is when they travel overseas or go to another country, you know, they think they have medical coverage because their credit card has it. You know, because that's one of the benefits of holding onto their credit card. For a lot of the credit cards, there's one stipulation that's critical for you to understand, how that medical insurance will trigger if you're, you know, traveling and you have medical coverage on your credit card. And that stipulation is that you actually book your trip on that credit card. I was on a business trip about a year and a half ago in Palm Springs, and we were sitting having breakfast with a bunch of employees at the company, and the one guy's like, oh yeah, he's like, I got medical coverage, I'm all good. And I said, why do you say that? He said, well, I have it on my credit card. I said, okay. I said, well, didn't the company book your flight and your hotel on the company credit card? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I would double check right now to make sure you have coverage. And I said, because I don't think you do. And he left the breakfast table. He went, came back about 15 minutes later after calling his credit card company. He said, holy cow. He goes, guys, I don't have any medical coverage right now. If I get sick or hurt, that's on me. And I'll tell you, I can speak from personal experience, knowing that, you know, if you travel overseas or to another country and you don't have proper medical coverage, you can bankrupt yourself. Okay, so make sure if you have medical coverage on your credit card that you book your trip on your credit card, or make sure that it still applies if you don't book your trip on your credit card, because again, you can bankrupt yourself. So again, two things I wanted to teach you here today is if you travel overseas or another country and you think you have medical coverage on your credit card, make sure it's applicable if you don't book the trip on your credit card. And number two is this, is if you have high interest rate credit card debt, pay that off as fast and as aggressively as you can. Again, Kevin Cochran from Enriched Academy. Want to thank you again for taking the time to watch this video. We'll see you real soon.